Welcome back. This is lesson 2, day 2. Kindergartners can do about a lesson or a project in one sitting compared to older kids that go through multiple days to complete a project. So this is day 2. It does stack on the day 1 lesson. So if you haven't done day 1, I would go back and watch that video because all the concepts stack on top of each other. So this is lesson 2, day 2, about a 40-minute session. Review at the beginning, what is art? That everything is art. I am art, you are art, we are art, everything is art. There's that slideshow. I'll link it also. If you didn't see that slideshow from video 1 or you just want to use parts of it to review, you can download that as a PDF, or there's a video that you can just watch and fast forward to the parts that you want. And we will be referencing in this one. So this video is more for the adults to walk adults through if they want to teach the project themselves. We will be using these handouts again and reviewing concepts. So there'll be a slideshow that you can watch about the role model master artist, Yayoi Kusama. And there are 2 book choices that I've used both. I prefer, I think, Yayoi Kusama From Here to Infinity, or Yayoi Kusama Covered Everything in Dots and Wasn't Sorry as a second choice. I've used both. The kids were responsive to both. Always preview books before you show them to make sure you're knowledgeable and comfortable with the topic and things addressed in the books. I will link those. You can borrow them from the library. You can find them on YouTube, or you can buy them and own them, a copy yourself. Supplies are really simple. You just need a paintbrush, water, and a piece of paper, any paper. If you only have Post-its, if you only have envelopes, whatever you have for kids to make art, that's what you have. So you're going to use what you have. The focus here is on mark making, and specifically making dots. The smallest mark you can make are dots. So you want to focus on that as your main goal. Like if they could do something that they couldn't do from the beginning of the lesson to the end of the lesson, will be, can they make the smallest thing they can make? Can they make dots? So that is what we're going for. My kindergartners are typically about 5 years old. Some of them are sometimes 6. This is about a class of like 25 kids is my max. It's a 40-minute lesson. After we go through all the parts, we do attendance and they find their seat, and we talk about, what is art? What do they remember from the class period before, from the day 1 lesson? We go through the slideshow, we listen to a book, and then we get into the directions, and then the rest of the class time, they are making the project. So we have a piece of paper. Any piece of paper that you have will do well for this. A lot of kindergartners can't write their name, so you might want to just go around and write their name, help them write their name if they don't know how. So after you've done all these things, what is art, slideshow, book, I'm just going to talk about how to actually teach it. So we have some water. These dishes don't tip over very easily, but I wouldn't use glass in a classroom setting. If you're a homeschooler, parent, you can use what you have. So I'm using what I have at home. We have the handouts from last time. You're going to review these about how to care for our paintbrush. So meet your paintbrush. Here's your happy paintbrush. Your paintbrush should be standing up nice and tall, the hair nice and straight and a nice point. You can see that. You can practice being gentle, tickling your hand. You can tickle your hand with some water. Tickle, tickle, tickle. We don't want to jab the brush, because just like that hurts your hand, it's going to hurt the brush and ruin the bristles. If we ruin our brushes, we will not be able to paint, because we can't just buy new brushes every day. So we have to treat our brush with care. We want a nice and happy paintbrush. How do we make our paintbrush happy? There's one color at a time, and all the hairs go in a nice straight, mostly straight kind of pointed line like this. Sometimes the bend to the brush is fine, but we do not want our paintbrush to look like an octopus. No, no, no. We don't want that. We don't want all the bristles going in different directions and multiple colors and giving our paintbrush a headache. Okay, so we don't want to jab, jab, jab. We want to tickle, tickle, tickle. We want to focus more on the word, on what you want than what you don't want, because that's what they'll hear. So if I say don't think of a pink elephant, you're going to think of a pink elephant. So be careful with how much negative direction you're paying attention to more than the positive direction. So last time we just painted with water on the day one lesson. And so we just talked about getting the brush wet and wiping the brush off and mark making. So today we're only going to make dots, just like Yayoi Kusama worked with just dots. Dots are the smallest marks we can make. So you can pick any color, and we're just going to wake up that color. So we want to pretend that the paints are sleeping. We're going to take some water and we're going to wake up the paints. Wake up, paint, wake up. And how do I know that the paint is awake? You can see the paint in my brush. So wake up that paint. It's sleeping. We can pretend the water is coffee and we wake up that color. We can see it's nice and shiny and wet. Any watercolor will work. Watercolor paints disappear very quickly. So I actually prefer using dry tempera paint. They look like hockey pucks. They're as thick as a hockey puck and as big as a hockey puck, and they will last you forever. So if you are on a budget and want to spend a little bit of money up front and buy something that's going to last you a long time, I'll also put that in the description box. But any basic watercolors, doesn't really matter. We're just giving the kids an experience. So it doesn't really matter whatever you've got. So we're going to load the brush. We're going to use dinosaur fingers that we talked about last time. Dinosaur fingers, they look like this, and they just are going to pinch that brush. These are the same fingers we used to tie shoes, zippers, buttons, pick up pennies off the floor. These muscles are important. And again, if you need something to hold, you can hold a rock, you can hold a pom-pom. Just make sure you have adult supervision for anything small. You're going to hold your brush with your pincer fingers. That's like this, so it makes a little triangle. And then the tail of the brush goes on the couch of your hand, just like that. And we're just going to make marks. Smallest marks you can make. Just making dots. That's it. And what can you do with your dots is up to you. Everyone's art is going to look different. Every time I've done this, no two students' dot painting is the same. So if I want to switch colors, can I just go from the blue bedroom over to the red room? No, I cannot. I already have blue in my brush. So we have to clean that brush with the same skills we learned before. We're going to swish our brush. And we're going to wipe it off on the side. We're going to swish it, swish, drag. Let's say it together. Ready? Swish, drag. And then we're going to go to a new color, whatever color you like. You might want red, you might want orange. It doesn't matter. You pick what you want. And we're going to make the smallest marks you can make with your brush. Art can look like nothing. Art can look like something. This is art. It's very relaxing, very calming. If I'm having like a day filled with big emotions, I can paint a picture. And guess what? Afterwards, I'll feel much better. So I'm just going to rinse our brush really good. Wash it at the bottom. That's the important part, is I'm washing it off. Just like we wash our hair. Our brush has hair. So we're just going to rinse really well and wipe it off. Check that it's clean. Dirty water will equal dirty colors. So we will change our water as we go. The teacher or your whatever adult you have with you will help you change out the water. So I'm waking up Yellow. Yellow was sleeping. I'm in the yellow room. Can I go from the yellow room over to the purple room? No, I cannot. I'm just going to make dots. Lots and lots of dots. Now your grown-up is going to put on a song or many songs, And we're going to paint until the music ends. A visual timer is also super helpful because children don't have a concept of time. A 5-year-old is about a 5-minute attention span. 6-year-old is about a 6-minute attention span, and so on. But we will get into like a flow state of just like chilling with the paints and relaxing. And we can stretch that time by using a visual timer, or that means we paint until all the time on the timer disappears. So I call it like a piece of pie. When all that pie disappears, all the colorful part of the visual timer disappears, you can stop painting. But otherwise, we're going to stay in our spot. You can stand or you can sit, but we're going to stay in our spot and paint until that timer goes off or the music ends, or both. A visual timer will definitely help them stay longer because they know that it's going to end. Painting session always has to have like an end. Can't just go on forever. So I'm just going to add another color. I'm not worried about it looking like anything. I'm just practicing mark making. That's the whole project, is just this. All right. Because if you can make small marks, you can make big marks. This is learning brush control. That is what we're after, is brush control, which will also help with self-control because we are learning to be gentle. We're learning to follow simple directions. And if you can make nothing, you can make something. This always leads somewhere. So that is the main focus of this. Thank you for watching and listening, and I hope that was helpful. You can send me an email with questions if anything was unclear, and that will help me make future lessons better quality.